Why did you want to do what you're doing this year? Well, I mean, as soon as I heard about medical ethics, I knew it was the thing I wanted to do, and it just fit in with everything I hadn't even known about yet, but I'd actually been going for all along. So I knew that I wanted to work in that field, and actually I didn't want to do a PhD. I was very scared that I would be just spending more time sitting in a little room, kind of reading the text that other people had written and doing literature analysis, which obviously has an important place, but I felt that especially with something that's so involved with, other people and treating people, I would feel so very removed from it. So I didn't want to do that, and I thought that's all a PhD was. But after I'd had a bit of time off from my master's and I accepted that I would one day want to read a book again, I started to look into it more closely, and I found this position, and the amount of practical work that you do is just incredible, and I think so many PhDs are like that, and I just didn't even know. But you're working with some of the best researchers in the world, and you're interviewing them, and they're sort of forming you, they're giving you advice, and they're giving you feedback. So yeah, that was definitely something that as soon as I heard what it was really like, I knew that it was going to be for me. So it's just the first step on the career I want. How important are communication skills? For me, they're going to be very important because I'm doing a lot of interviewing and I'm doing a lot of teaching. So that's definitely something that's going to be critical, and that was something that was taught very well at Reading. You're taught to express yourself clearly, and you do a lot of presentations and arguing for your ideas and presenting research that you've done, so it was something that I was well prepared for. So yeah, they're going to be critical for me, I think. Do you feel adequately paid? At the moment, I do. At the moment, I think it sounds quite good. I'll see after some time living in Switzerland, but yeah, it seems like it's very well paid. And I think also, especially if you go into the academic world, the way you get funding is often, they've been doing it for a while, so it's often very suitable to your needs, and you're going to be able to get different amounts of funding depending on, the kind of research you're doing, if you have to travel a lot, or all that kind of thing. So yeah, at the moment it sounds good. Do you work collaboratively? Any tips on fitting in? My position is going to have a lot of collaboration. There's going to be a lot of interviewing scientists and doctors and patients, and a lot of working with other professors in the department. So it's hugely collaborative, and I think a lot of our research papers are going to be shared, and there's the opportunity to write research papers with scientists to go into scientific journals, which I'm very excited about. And as far as fitting in goes, I think that when you've really found the right job, that's not really going to be a problem, because if it's something that you're excited about, you're probably going to be with some very like-minded people. So don't turn up in your pajamas or anything, but that's probably obvious. But yeah, I think as soon as you're starting to get into the right job market, you'll be fitting in anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Do you feel you do or will make a difference? Yes, I definitely think so. I mean, that's the whole reason I wanted to go into this field of philosophy, this very kind of applied ethics, because I wanted to help people, as sort of naive as that sounds, and make a difference. And I think any contribution that you can have in the medical world and medical research and furthering new technology definitely makes a difference. And when you're contributing to the ethics side of it, making sure that patients are well represented and that all these rules are kept and that research is properly presented is hugely important. So I think I will be. Do you see your role evolving? What are your plans for the future? Well, I hope my role will evolve. I hope that after I've got the PhD, I'll be sort of getting to the next level of doing postdoc research, and hopefully still a lot of collaboration with scientists and doctors, so more of the same at a higher level. And plans for the future is difficult, because I feel like everything that I wanted in a future job, this is giving me. I sort of said, I want to work in bioethics, but I want it to be practical, and I want to, do scientific interviews, and I want to get my own data, and I've sort of got it all already, so I think those will develop as I see what directions I go in. But at this point, more of the same, more of working in the same field. Hopefully the specialism of my PhD will kind of point me in a direction. So at the moment, no specific plans, because I'm quite happy with what I've got. And what's the job market like currently, and what should students be doing to make sure the futures they want? The job market that I'm going into is actually relatively limited in the UK. I found it a little bit harder finding anything that was particularly in line with it here. But I didn't necessarily want to live in the UK, so it didn't bother me too much. But I think obviously the job market is a lot more limited. It's trickier for everyone, but that's why you've got to sort of add value of whatever you've got. So if you've got a good degree from a good university, that's great. But also if you've got a degree that's very versatile, you don't necessarily have to make the decision of where you're going to go as soon as you go to university, which I think a lot of people end up doing. But if you've got something that, alright, doesn't necessarily give you one fixed career path, but, gives you a lot of options because you've done well and you're articulate and you're intelligent and you've kind of done a good job of it, then you're going to be able to see what the job market is like when you get out and then work towards it. So you might have a very specific plan already, but if you don't, then I think a philosophy degree is just going to give you a lot of time to look around you. And the other thing is that while I was here, I got the opportunity to do a lot of jobs with the university. So not only was that useful for getting paid while you're studying, but it gave you a lot of opportunities to test out certain things. So I did things like fundraising for the university, and I did teacher training, and I was promoting the university at open days. So these were all things that they add to your CV, and they also give you a taste of the kind of things you might like to do later on. So you can definitely discover it even while you're studying, even if you're not studying something that has a very specific career path. And any final advice for current students? Well, I'm not sure. For current students, I'd just say, well, if you're here already, keep enjoying it, because Reading's a great university, and I had a lot of fun here. And yeah, I think at this point, keep all your options open, because you have no idea when you're going to hear about the thing that's going to, guide the rest of your future. So just enjoy everything that you're studying and do as well as you can at it. Well, yeah, I guess that's another thing actually. In the job that I've just got, my languages ended up being very important in me getting it. And that was something that was taught to me at school and I never really thought about. I just sort of took it for granted. And actually that was sort of the tipping point that made me able to get this job. So you never know when something that you've studied is going to be critical and come in useful. So even if you're not loving it at the moment, just try and take advantage of everything, because the broader kind of range of knowledge you have, the better you'll do.